you're having problems with your water heater draining and it's draining slow, we have an alternative. The reason your drain is not draining is because you're filled with sludge. Inside your tank, as I've cut this one away, is this. Sometimes not this black, but nonetheless this. That's what's blocking your drain, and you can't drain your water heater. But as you can see, you have your element completely open in there. So we want to take a few precautions when the water is in there. So when you start, use your water heater element wrench and loosen your element. Now you can unscrew this element a couple turns and you won't lose much water, but you're better prepared. If you have one of these spout devices, install that and put your bucket underneath. Then when you unscrew your element the rest of the way and pull it out, you'll be getting water out here and it'll flow into this bucket while you pick this up and insert it. As soon as you get this started, it will stop the flow of water because your water is not under pressure. Once that flow is stopped, you can take this off and tighten this completely. Now, one other problem you may have is you may have somebody that inserted one of these beautiful devices. This is a double over element, and it does a good job heating your water. But when you install this, after a little while, this will expand both this way and this way. That will make it near impossible to, once you get it unscrewed, pull out. It will stop like this. Sometimes, as in the case of this particular water heater, the sludge was so bad, this is what that element looked like by the time we got this unscrewed and pull out. You'll never get that out that hole. Basically, it's like that on the inside. How are you going to pull that through that hole? So what I did, and what seems to work the best for me, is when I got it out as far as I could and then cut it with a bolt cutter. So when you start this process, it may not be a bad idea to have a bolt cutter here. If you don't have a bolt cutter and you want to start, when you pull this and find that it no longer goes any further, simply put it back and screw it back in a little bit till it starts to thread. That'll stop your water from coming out until you can get a bolt cutter. Now, our electric is off. We've double checked that. We have an airlock on our system. If you have started to drain your water heater so that it has a pocket of air in it, you're going to want to refill your water heater, because that pocket of air is going to allow for your water to escape faster than what you want it to. Your airlock is what prevents that water from escaping quickly. So we're going to get to the element here, and we're going to pull this live. This water heater tank is full of water with an airlock. Okay, I've loosened this. Give it a couple turns down. I like that. And I am getting ready to remove the element with the other. The water in here is good and hot, so I'm going to be a little careful. As you can see, water comes out. And I'm not being in any big hurry because it's going right where I want it to. I simply screw that in. I'm going to tighten this with a pair of channel locks. Okay, so I had to tighten this down a little bit with a pair of channel locks so it wasn't leaking. You hook a hose to this, and we do have a pit down here in the other room. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Let's see how much water we're getting out the other end of the hose. So here's the flow without a pump along the floor. I've taken the air gap out of the system. So this is just naturally the water's pushing itself down by its own weight, and that's what we're getting right there. So now I'm going to go hook it up to the pump. We'll see the difference of having a pump on it. Okay, I have the hose hooked up now to the pump, and I've run water into this so that it's primed, and I've turned this back on so we have water. And I'm going to go into the other room and see where the hose comes out, and then we'll turn it on and you'll see the difference that we get. That's the beauty of having a pump. That could go up a floor, down a floor, outside, into a toilet, into a tub, into a sink, anywhere that you have enough hose to reach. And there you go. That kind of flow. That's going to empty that water heater in about 5-10 minutes at the most. Not the 3 or 4 hours it takes to drain a clogged water heater. The nice thing is, look in this bucket and see we only lost maybe a quart or a quart and a half of water, and I wasn't even being in a hurry when I put this in. And it's all contained in this, just a little tiny bit on the floor. So if you're working in an area that's finished with carpet, or you don't want to get any water around, this is the ticket. This helps you out.